care who you are. Today I'm going to teach you some manners." I kicked him in the groin. He doubled over and hit the floor, clutching himself. Ethan's people started to move and shout at our table. I'm a Taekwondo black belt. I didn't bother with his few tough guy friends. I lunged at Ethan, grabbed a bottle from the little round table, and smashed it over his head. Ethan didn't expect it. He clutched his skull and tried to fight back. I grabbed his collar and slapped him hard across the face, then landed a few more open-handed slaps. He cursed at me between strikes. "You rotten bitch! How dare you start on me? I'll kill you," he spat. "You're a fucking weakling, getting off on hitting women, huh?" As I raised my hand for another slap, the bar owner arrived and pried us apart. In the chaos, I kicked Ethan a few more times. The crowd, Ethan's usual sycophants and the bar's regulars, watched with mouths open. The evening ended with us sitting in the police precinct, drinking tea. Vivian sat beside me, trying to soothe me. Nathan paced outside, calm, on the phone instructing her fiancé to bring a lawyer. Ethan sat there holding his face, cursing, promising I'd rot in jail. I snorted and casually pulled up his record. "I'm not scared," I said. "I've been to this precinct more times than I can count. Staged extortion, prostitution stings, disorderly conduct. Grant family names are regulars here. I've bailed him out more than once. This is nothing." After a while, Nathan came in with the lawyer and said, "The bar surveillance shows Ethan's people started it. Your retaliation was justified. Pack up and go home. Tonight you two can crash at my place." Vivian and I grabbed our bags. Passing Ethan, we saw him hanging his head. The lawyer Nathan had brought was negotiating with the cops. Nathan snorted. "As of tomorrow, that cocktail bar will be Clark's. His goons will be dealt with. He'll never show his face in New York City again." That night, Vivian crept into my room with her laptop, eyes bright. "Do you want revenge?" she asked. I raised an eyebrow and made room on the bed. "Ethan Grant?" She nodded eagerly and opened a file. "The Grants have a major investment near Raven Creek, the Millstone paper mill. They claim it controls 60% of the domestic high-end paper market. It's listed publicly and looks like a decent asset." I understood where she was going. "You think they're cooking the numbers?" "Yes," Vivian smiled. "Even careful families make mistakes." Their core building material business hasn't kept up with national standards. They're skating on thin ice. Since I came to New York City, I've been watching the Grants. I've got dirt on them. If Millstone has problems and we push, shorting Grant will be easy. Vivian's eyes lit with the cold gleam of capital. I nodded. "So what do you want me to do? Investigate Millstone?" "Stay in New York," she said. "Make Ethan's life miserable. Steal his business. Win his deals. Keep him distracted so our real work can take place." That was easy. I'd spent 7 years at Grant Holdings. Undermining them was my specialty. Ethan did manage to get home in one piece, but this time he defended Clark Capital and alienated Shaw Group's Seattle branch. Richard Grant had been negotiating with Eleanor Shaw in Seattle and was close to a deal when Ethan stuck his nose in and angered Vivian Shaw. Eleanor canceled and turned to a local Seattle firm. Richard flew back to New York. Ethan was put under house arrest and the company was handed over to his brother. I knew Ethan had tried everything. He'd even fired me, a trusted lieutenant, to secure his grip on Grant Holdings. Now his brother Adrian was in charge, which must have been worse for him than death. Vivian flew out to Raven Creek to inspect Millstone. She handed Shaw Group's New York branch to me to run. To make amends, Richard Grant threw a wine party and invited Vivian, partly to apologize and partly to try to set her up with Adrian. If that worked out, he figured, it would be a win-win. I texted Vivian. She asked me to wear the dress she'd had made for me. She was at a critical moment and didn't want any surprises. Her plan was to stir up Grant family infighting so they'd be too busy squabbling to pay attention to Millstone. I accepted. Richard's face when I stepped down from the Shaw Group car was priceless. He'd always looked down on me. He thought I was someone who would do anything for money. Now I was vice president of Shaw Group's NYC branch, second only to Vivian, and he had to swallow his pride and curry favor. Ethan hung back by Richard, reluctant to step forward. I smiled and raised a brow. "What's this? Richard not happy to see me? Richard threw Ethan a glance and forced a smile. Serena Cole, you're too kind. How could we not welcome you? It's chilly out, come in. I took Vivian's dress, shook hands with Richard Grant, and walked inside.